Yet you may say there is a functioning of understanding, what one would call mind, but for me it's a functioning of understanding of consciousness. But there is no mind. It's like a working functioning of consciousness. What is like keeping this body alive and eating and all this functioning of remembering when the fly goes and all this. So there's a functioning of a working mind, you would say. But actually there is no my mind and there is not my functioning. So the all doer is consciousness. And doing it to consciousness, in consciousness, and in the time of consciousness, whatever. But there is no such thing as my mind or my consciousness. So this idea of my is simply not there. And that this my is not here or mine, yours is not there. So I don't see any owner anymore. Because the owner here is non-existent. Or the doer or whatever you call it. So without this ownership, there is no mind anymore. There's simply a functioning of consciousness. And to be that total functioning of consciousness, in essence, is what you are, or what I am. So in the oneness of consciousness we are one. But as self, even prior to oneness, we are that what is self. And there is even not an idea of oneness even more. Because there is not even one. Because there is no one without a second. Yeah, the only way to destroy the mind is to see there is no such ownership of mind, or there is simply no second. That all there is consciousness. And in this oneness of seeing, or in this seeing that there is no second consciousness, there is simply no second addition of consciousness, then that what is mind must be is consciousness too. There is no separation in it. So there is no my mind or your mind or any mind. There is simply consciousness in action. And then in this functioning of understanding, you can call it mind, like labeling it, but it's still consciousness. So this is a total destruction of my mind, because there is only a mind as long as there is my mind. But without this idea of my, this first thought of me, as I thought, there is no mind anymore. So by the destruction of the I thought, the first root thought of the mind, of the my, there is no mind anymore. It never was. This is a total destruction by being as you are, being that what is. Then there was never any mind and never will be. Because there is simply no my existence. And only then there is a total destruction and a total annihilation of that what is mind, when that what is you is the selflessness, which even doesn't know a self. And what the self is and what the self is not.